Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're looking at something pretty big, those GLP-1 medications, Ozempic, Wegovy, Manjaro. Amazing results for many, but we're pivoting to a really specific side effect. Tons of users report this persistent hair loss and thinning.
Yeah, it's a significant issue.
Our mission today is to really dig into the source material, describing one particular supplement that claims to be tailored exactly for this problem.
Right, and it's a huge trade-off for so many people. The sources we're looking at argue really strongly that this isn't just like the usual shedding you might get with rapid weight loss.
Or vitamin deficiency, yeah.
Exactly. The material points pretty directly, actually, towards a hormonal disruption, specifically an impact on DHT levels. That's the claimed root cause.
Okay, DHT, let's unpack that a bit. Dihydrotestosterone, it's that powerful androgen hormone, often the driver behind pattern baldness in men and women, right?
That's the one.
So what these sources seem to be suggesting is, well, is it that the really rapid metabolic change, the shift in insulin sensitivity, maybe the body's stress from calorie restriction, that this could temporarily mess with the androgen conversion process, leading to maybe a temporary spike in active DHT?
That's precisely the argument presented. And the most, fascinating part of the source material for me is the key identifier they offer, the listener.
Oh, you can tell.
Yeah, how do you know if your shedding is hormonal versus just nutritional or stress? The sources claim the absolute giveaway is the injection day shedding pattern.
Okay, what does that mean exactly?
It means if you notice your hair fall gets significantly worse, say 1 or 2 days after your weekly shot, and then maybe it eases up a bit before the next injection. That specific fluctuation, they claim, is a direct signal of this GLP-1 related hormonal chaos.
Wow, okay. That distinction changes the game, doesn't it? Because your standard fixes, your biotin, your collagen supplements,
They won't touch it.
right, they can't fix what the sources are calling this kind of prolonged hormonal imbalance. So this leads us to the supplement itself, Hair Revive. The claim is it's formulated exactly to target that DHT issue that other things miss.
Exactly. That's the unique approach the source really hammers home. This isn't positioned as just another vitamin blend. It's built around adaptogens, things that modulate that stress response and hormone pathways. They focus on 2 key functions, basically. First, trying to block the actual overproduction of DHT.
Okay, and that's where the main ingredients come in. The source talks about saw palmetto extract. It claims this blocks the enzyme converting testosterone to that excess DHT. And they cite studies.
Yeah, some reference clinical work showing up to a 38% DHT reduction in about 8 weeks.
Okay, and what else is in there for blocking?
Partnering with that is organic pumpkin seed oil. The source points to some Korean research suggesting this oil acts as a potent natural DHT inhibitor too, showing increased hair counts in longer, like 6-month studies. Seems to work right at the scalp level.
Interesting. So if those two are about blocking the hormone production, what's the second angle?
The second functional group seems more focused on regulating the whole system and the follicle itself. That's where they mention pearl powder and aloe vera inner leaf.
And how do those supposedly work, not just nutrients?
No, the claim is less about vitamins and more about their ability to regulate the broader hormonal cascades. That whole chain reaction of hormone signals.
Yeah.
And also normalizing the DHT receptor sensitivity right there at the hair follicle. It's like trying to reset what the medication might have disrupted.
Okay, the sources definitely back this up with some, pretty striking claims. They talk about an independent, double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trial, specifically on 200 GLP-1 users.
Yes, that's cited.
And the result, an average reduction in daily hair fall of 68%? That sounds huge. Does the source give more context on that trial?
They present it as pretty conclusive evidence, yeah. And they note the timeline was also striking. Something like 78% of users saw a noticeable drop in shedding by week 8.
Week 8, okay.
And then 92% reported visibly thicker ponytails by week 16. That kind of reported success rate really leans into their core hypothesis that the problem is hormonal for these users.
So if you compare this to what the sources call the failed alternatives, it makes the distinction sharper. They frame it almost like Nutrafol feeds your hair.
Hair Revive fixes what the medication broke.
Yeah.
That's the line they use.
That comparison really forces the issue, doesn't it? It suggests if standard nutritional support isn't working for you on these meds, the cause is likely structural, hormonal, not just calories.
And that brings us right to the key takeaway for you, the listener. Because hair growth cycles are slow, right?
Right, it takes time.
The source strongly advises committing to this for, say, 3 to 6 months minimum. That's the claimed time frame for follicles to really recover and for thickness to actually return. You're resetting a system, not just slapping on a Band-Aid.
Makes sense. And there's a final warning in the material, isn't there? It sounds quite urgent.
It does. They caution pretty strongly against just waiting it out, hoping it resolves on its own.
Yeah.
Because, they argue, the window for actual follicle recovery might get smaller over time, meaning letting those follicles stay dormant under that constant pressure from the claimed hormonal imbalance. You risk them potentially shutting down permanently. The source warns against letting "I wish I'd acted sooner" become your story. Potential permanent follicle damage is the concern.
Definitely something critical to look into, especially if you are noticing that specific injection day shedding pattern they describe. Thanks for diving deep with us today.